What is on, guy? What is going on, squad? It's your boy Face Typhoon here, aka Chris. Today I just wanted to share with you guys my scariest experience so far. Um, so I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. The reason I'm making this video so late is because I was out with my mom. We were doing some stuff. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started into the video. And yeah. All right, guys. So this event happened about 2 months ago. I was walking to the library from school, and I got into the library. I was in the library for about an hour, and then I was doing homework, and then I finished my homework, and I started playing some games on the computer, watching YouTube, and then my cousin comes in, and she's like, "Hey, Krishna, what's up?" And so she gets on the computer, starts talking to her friends and stuff. And then, like, she goes outside and does something. I don't know what she did. But after she came back in and she was like, "Christian, the police have our friends on the corner in handcuffs." And I'm like, okay. So I walk outside to see what's going on. And I see that they're in handcuffs. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? I walk across the street and start heading down the street that they're on, and I'm standing away so that I don't get caught up in the mix somehow. And unfortunately, I actually did get caught up in the mix, so I wasn't too happy. And this police car comes rolling down the street out of nowhere, and the police gets out of the car. He's like, "Get out!" And he says it like really aggressively, like I don't even know how to explain it. It was just really aggressive, like, "Get out!" Like somebody was about to like shoot me or something or whatever. But he says get down very aggressively. So my first instinct, of course, was to run. That's pretty natural. But I wanted to run, but I believe in God, so the Holy Spirit was like, "No, just stay there. It's gonna be all right." And so I just stayed there. I was just sitting there, and then on the another police came up from behind me, put me in handcuffs, and then he starts searching my back. And then he flips me over on my back and searches my my like chest area, like the front of my body. He says, "Do you have any sharp objects, anything that could hurt somebody?" I'm like, "No, sir," or "No, officer." And then he's like, "Okay." And he has me sit on my behind on the curb, and I'm just sitting there for like 15 minutes, and then another police car comes up, and that police car, the police who has me in handcuffs, he says on his walkie-talkie to the police that rolled up from the left side of the street, "Do we have a match?" And the police in the car is like, "Yes, we do." So the police that has me in handcuffs, he takes me to the trunk of his car, like the side trunk of his car. He searches me once again. Then he's like, he said some stuff. Not I forgot what he said. I was like panicking, like what's going on, so I wasn't really paying attention to what he was saying. He's asked me like where I live, what's my name, what school do I go to, and stuff. And for some reason, he's like, "Are you telling me the truth about your name?" I'm like, "Yes." So after he asked me that, he puts me in the car. I'm sitting in this car. I'm like, "Am I going to jail?" He's like, "Let's just say I'm putting you in a car with some AC for a little while." And I'm like, "All right." So I sit in the car. I get in the car. First off, the car is super hot, and then he just has me sitting in there baking for like 20 minutes, and then finally he asked the other police, um, is he good to go? Because he had saw some another group of kids that had on the same color clothes as me, and I'll get to the whole reason they did this later. But I'm just sitting there in the car waiting to get out or whatever. I want to ask if I could call my mom, but I'm like panicking, not knowing what to do. So I'm so scared. I don't even want to ask him a question. So I'm just sitting in the car. Then finally, after 20 minutes, he asked the police, "Are we gonna let him go? Or are we gonna keep him?" He's like, "We're gonna go ahead and let him go." He opens the door. He's about to let me out, and the police like, "No, no, no, keep him in there." So I'm in there for another like 5 to 7 minutes, and then he lets me out. He's like, "Okay, you're free to go." I get out of the car. He unhandcuffs me, and like by the time I get halfway down the street, he says Tyler, which is my last name. He calls me back and he says, "Do you know why we had to do this?" I'm like, "No, officer." He says, "We had to do this because there were reports of a Caucasian kid." I'm not racist, but this is what he said. He said there were reports of a Caucasian kid getting beat up in the 99-cent store area, and you fit the description because the witness said that there was an African American kid who had on a black top, tan or khaki pants, black shoes, and he was African American. And I had on exactly that day. So I had that outfit on that day. And so he's like, "That's why we had to do this." And I'm like, "Okay." And so I walked back across the street to the library. Not to mention, I forgot to tell you guys this, but they handcuffed my cousin too, simply because she was African American and she had braids. And so we're walking back to the library. They let both of us go. We're walking back to the library. All our friends are like, "What happened? Why did you guys get arrested?" and whatever. And we're like, "We don't even know." I was like, "Because I fit the description." So we're walking back to the library, and my mom used to like give her rides home because she lives close to us. So my mom used to give her a ride. So we both walked back to the library. I call my mom up on the phone. I'm like, "Hey mom, can you come pick me up? I'll tell you why when you get here." And she's like, "Yeah, okay, I'm en route." She was already en route to come pick me up. So she's on her way to pick me up. She gets there, and then we come outside. We get in the car. She can obviously tell there's something wrong. Me and my cousin, we explained to her what happened. So my mom's pretty mad because, like, if I turned around and took one step, the cop's finger was, like, right on the trigger. So if I took, like, one more step, I possibly could have been shot. So I thank God that I wasn't shot. That's a blessing. But we tell my mom what happened. We're like, "Yeah, blah blah blah, this happened, that happened." And she's like, "All right." She calls my cousin mom, tells her what happened. She's like, "Is it okay if we take her to the police department with us?" And her mom is like, "Yeah, that's fine." We go to the police department. We talk to the watch commander. We explain to the watch commander what was going on, like why did this happen. My mom's pretty mad, so she talks to the watch commander. We're explaining what happened. Hold on, guys. Uh, So we're explaining what happened, and the watch commander's like, "Yeah, I think my officers did the right thing," and because the watch commander's like, "Yeah, I think we did the right thing. They pulled a gun because they thought I had a gun," which does make sense to me, but still, you could have pulled a taser at least. At least, I understand he was like trying to be safe and whatever, but still, I'm only 13. You're gonna pull a gun on me. That doesn't make any sense. So we talked to the watch commander. He's like, "Yeah, I think my officers did the right thing." My mom's like, "Yeah, okay." So we walk out, we leave, and then we go home. We tell my cousin's mom what happened. She's like, "Okay." And then probably about right after we dropped her off, my mom and I went home. We talked to Kaiser because the handcuffs like jacked up my wrist. So we went to the hospital. The people at the hospital, they were like, "Yeah, it's a severe sprain." So I got this brace on my arm for like two or 3 weeks, and just until it like felt better. I was supposed to be doing like range of motion and stuff. So I did that, and then probably like 3 to 4 weeks after, probably less. I kind of like lost a track of time. My mom made an appointment. We talked to some lawyers, and the lawyers were like, we explained to the lawyers what happened. The lawyers were like, "Yeah, we can't help you guys fight this case. We're really sorry." They're like, we were like, "Why can't you guys fight the case?" They said because all the police are gonna say is that we had to pull a gun because they couldn't see my waistband where I was supposedly to be having a gun. Um, so they were like, "That's the reason we can't fight it because that's all the police are gonna say." And I had my jacket on, so it hit my waistband. So we're like, "All right." So me and my mom were not done with the case. We're still trying to fight it, but we're still working on it. Hopefully we get something out of it, cause it's just not right. Um, I do understand why they pulled a gun on me, but it just still doesn't feel right. And the cop who pulled the gun on me was like really aggressive, and I'm like, "Okay, what's this about?" But anyway, guys, that's been my scariest experience. Thank to God that I'm still alive and I didn't go on my first instinct and run because it could have been a whole catastrophe disaster. So that's all I got for today, guys. If you guys like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. And until my next video, be kind to one another, be safe. And if you guys have any story like this, any comments, make sure you leave it down in the comments below. And I will see you guys when I see you guys. Be kind to one another, be safe. Peace out.